Now we'll finish the follow through of the right arm and work on the shoulder. So we left off about to work on the translate Y of the right arm. So let's select the channel in the graph editor, frame the region, and begin working. So first off, before we actually add some follow through, what we need to do is work on getting this push off a little bit better than it is right now. Right now it's not a push off. The character is just slowly bringing his hand off the crate. Okay, we're not getting the right motion there. So on frame 68, let's go there and simply translate the control up. So now the hand looks better pushing off the crate than it once was. But it's a little bit high. So what we can do is just take this key on frame 68 and bring it down a little bit more. Alright, that looks better. Okay, so now we can go ahead and move on. And we will go back to the wrist and work on it. We just want to work on finishing up the arm right now. So as the arm's coming down and then comes back forward, what's going to happen here, at about frame 85, we want to straighten it out. So let's go there and we'll bring it down a bit more. Not too much where we're getting IK lock, but enough. Then we'll go to the key on frame 85 and around that region. And let's take this key on 78 and we'll bring it down the right half of the tangent handle so we can get a better flow in the translate Y here. Okay, great. Now as the arm's coming up, we'll want to bring the arm up so that the elbow will bend. We want some nice follow through in the elbow, the correct follow through. But what's also going to happen, watch what happens when we add that in the translate Y. Let's go to frame 96, and about here we want to translate the arm up. Notice how the arm moves back because of the IK we're using. So how to fix this is to just do minor modifications to the translate Z. So let's go to the translate Z channel. We'll frame the region, and let's select this key on frame 98. We'll frame it, and let's go ahead and bring it up. We'll hold shift and middle mouse button, click and drag up to fix the pose here. Okay, great. So now this kid's arm is coming back up. Great, now the pose is fixed, and his arm is coming back too fast here and too much on frame 103 in the Z. So we'll just take this key, move it up some more, and fix the tangency. Great. So now we need to just go to the translate Y, and on 103, let's go ahead and frame our F curve, and we'll go ahead and bring down the arm here, okay, as it should move. Awesome, and then we could even adjust our tangency to fix the flow as it's coming down. Alright, much better. Okay, so from here, what we can do is a play blast to see how our arm is actually looking. We could even adjust our range slider just to the section we need to focus on, which is that arm coming down, to see what else we need to do to fix it up, if anything. So let's render off one from here. Here it is. Alright, so the arm's looking pretty good, but there's another area we can fix, and that is at about right here as the arm's coming back up. Notice how it's kind of staying paused right around this time when it actually starts moving forward a bit more than it is right now. So let's fix that. Just make a few more minor modifications. We'll go to our perspective and graph editor view, and let's go to the translate Z. We'll frame our F curve, and let's say at around frame 86, we'll translate character's end a bit forward there, and then we'll adjust our tangency. Okay, let's see how this looks. Okay, and what we can also do is go to our translate Y, and let's take this key on frame 85, and we'll move it down to about 86, just one frame down, so that we could get the arm moving a bit more down there, but not too far. We don't want any IK locking. So with these fixes made, let's render off another play blast to check it out. See if we like our results. How about from here? Here it is. Alright, great. So that's looking better on our right arm. So once we have this, let's go ahead and move on to our right shoulder. Go ahead and close this out. And while working on the shoulder, we may run into an area where we need to make, again, slight adjustments to the rest of the arm. but they won't be bad at all. So let's select the shoulder, and we'll go to our perspective and graph view, hit F, and we're just making slight movements here. It's not going to be much at all. So for example, on frame 70, this shoulder should be up a little bit more forward than it is right now. So we'll rotate it slightly more forward. Okay. Then as the arm's coming back, we want to look where it's back the most. And that occurs at around 82. So on 82, we'll rotate that shoulder back. And then, as the arm's coming up, we'll look for where it is forward the most. And that's at around 98. So on 98, we'll bring it forward very slightly. And then on frame 103, we'll bring it back. Okay, so with this done, we'll hide our curves. And again, render off another play blast, checking out how our movement is looking now. I think this angle would be fine. Here it is. Okay, so it's looking pretty good. I think just at the end of the animation right here, as the shoulder goes back to 103, to frame 103, it's moving back too much. Okay, so this motion's too fast. So let's fix that. We'll go ahead and close this out and bring back our control curves. And one way to do that, rather than go ahead and adjust it using our rotation manipulator, what we can do is actually use the middle mouse button. Okay, and what that will allow us to do is, let's say we're on frame 100 and we middle mouse button click to frame 103, we'll actually take the value that is around frame 100 and apply it to that. So let's even go into our perspective and graph view. Okay, and from frame 100, which is this range here, notice the value that we see in our F curve. So now watch, if I go to frame 100 and middle mouse button click now on frame 103 and press Shift E, notice the change. So we now taking the value from frame 100, moving it to 103, and thus decreasing our value there. Rather than having to go back and just keep changing our shoulder until it looks right, we can just take some values that we already have set. Okay, so with that done, let's see how our animation looks now in the shoulder with another render. Here it is. Great. So that's much better. Okay, so what we just saw was another great example of using the middle mouse button. Okay, so we've got the arm looking really nice, the follow through for the arm, as well as the shoulder. And that finishes up this lesson. In the next lesson, we're going to bring more of our focus to the wrist.